Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So yeah, today the market has calmed down a little bit. It's good to see that the market has settled a little bit. We have to take a look at each chart individually, obviously now, and see if we see any useful patterns from the lows. But in this video, we want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still overall consolidating just below all-time high, pretty high level. Haven't really seen a major decline there, just a pullback, and this could be the start of that larger degree fourth wave, but it's too early to confirm that. This is just a larger time frame, and here on the macro level, as you know, talked about it, risk is high. Risk is high because we're in a larger topping phase, you could say, or in a topping area. It's not entirely clear if a major top has been established yet. I have no reason to believe that this is the case yet, but I have to say as well, look, if it happens, and it will happen in real time, that we have established, or that we establish a major top at some point, well, it will go quite quickly. It will happen quite quickly. Just yesterday, it was a test. You know, it was just to give everybody who's new in the space, feeling how that could be, at least a little bit of that, because once Bitcoin has established a major top and we start to see the sellers come in and nobody wants to buy anymore, then this is going to start like that. And bear in mind, we are at the end of a larger rally that started in November 22, and on the weekly chart, we are even at the end of a much larger rally that started in 2017. No, that's not correct, 2018. And it's we're at the end of that rally, and we might get that one more high, and that's expected. I tried to make everybody aware that there's no guarantee for that last high, right? There is not a guarantee for that last high. So everybody needs to have their own exit plan, to make a plan for when they want to take profits. And if you don't take profits, days like yesterday will potentially surprise or, well, be extremely uncomfortable, at least for you, right? And I'm not saying that it's the time now to take all your profits or something. I mean, you have to establish that yourself. It's a process as well. There are different strategies like dollar cost averaging out and everything. But if you don't take profits, you just at least have to make the decision, and you have to understand that if you don't take profits, those days like yesterday, they will potentially hurt your profits, right? Hurt your portfolio a lot. But again, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's now the best time, or it was the best time yesterday or something. It's just important to understand we're in a larger topping area where Bitcoin could form a major top. Now, that said, I still would like to see the price and expect the price to go to 130K. But as we all know, sometimes that last 4 or 5 pattern doesn't happen. Now, the good thing is, on this chart, we could even make a case for one more 4 or 5 pattern, which could eventually take us closer to the 200K level. So maybe that's not going to happen, but I would really like to see that last 4 or 5 here, because it is quite clear on many charts, like Solana, Bitcoin, and most of these altcoin charts actually do a 4 or 5 pattern. That's, however, not a guarantee, but it allows us to establish key support, and key support on the daily chart is currently located between 68K and 80K. And getting closer to that area, or even dipping into that area, testing that area, could be an interesting opportunity to add positions, or even on the way down to trade the range. Now, looking at the smaller time frame, not really any change. I've made a small adjustment to the white scenario, where we had the idea of a wave 4 here before, and that's still valid. But I've added this potential Elliott Wave triangle, just because if we continue to move up and down in this sideways range, and I mentioned to you, it might take a little while, until we really have a clear winner here in this sideways range. I mean, you might say the bears are leading at the moment. Well, I'd say in the short term, of course, from that local top that was established here on the 5th of December, but more so here on the 6th of December, you could say that clearly, I mean, that the trend is down. There was clearly a local top, but overall, we're just in a range, and it starts to look a little bit like a triangle, and some altcoins look a little bit like a triangle. So I thought, well, why not add this potential for an Elliott Wave triangle to the charts. I mean, it doesn't have to play out like that. It's just that don't be surprised if we, for example, from here go up a little bit, go down a little bit, and then maybe it extends a bit, but overall it could continue higher. This triangle will clearly be invalidated below the swing low from the 5th of December at around 91,250. You might say it's already going to be invalidated with the low of the C wave from yesterday, but it's not even clear if that C wave bottomed. So, I mean, this could still be extending, right? Because we haven't even broken above initial resistance. That's at 97,935. And for a 5-wave move down from that last high, we want to see at least one more low. Could even be 2 more lows. As I said yesterday, the microstructures there in this bottoming area, this local bottoming area, there was the buyer stepped in. Well, it is the microstructures are not very clear there, just because things happen so quickly. Now what I will do, I will remove that micro support area that was just for targets for that internal 3rd wave. So now the idea is, okay, we could get one more low at least in this 5th wave. Now that said, this would be a complete so you can say it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but actually we could also make a case for one more low. So again, a C wave is a 3-wave move, so that means the move down could also just be classed as 3 waves. It's just based on the not very clear micro action here. But I think what is important to understand is that until we break above and break and sustain above 97,935, short term the bulls are probably in retreat. So they're probably not leading, I'd say. And overall, from a let's say more from a zoomed out macro point of view, there is not really a clear winner here yet. And we are in a range. And please always remember what I showed you here. We could spend some time in this range. And that is pretty much what I try to visualize with this box, but also with the Elliott Wave triangle. So we just have to be a bit patient. I think the altcoins give us a little bit more clarity here and there, especially on the shorter time frame. And I will obviously give you updates about these as well. And for Bitcoin, we just need a little bit more patience and be careful in these ranges. So once we get a bit more clarity, we'll talk about it. But overall, I think the triangle idea is reasonable. And also we have resistance to watch. And if one more low happens, it's this area here around the previous swing lows that could offer the next support around 91K. Okay, so that's something to highlight. And but overall, there's just a sideways range. We don't, we're still holding above that Fibonacci support area, clearly. So what we're tracking now is here this idea of a potential triangle that might be forming. Definitely too early to really confirm it, but it's something to track, something to be aware of. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.